Okay, welcome to Art Traffic. This is the first installment of a long-lasting podcast about the LA art scene, the way we experience it, the way our colleagues experience it, and hopefully our goal is to bring together artists from all over the city, talk about what we do so that more people can understand it. So back to it. I want to talk about what the core idea behind doing this whole project has been, and sort of introduced everybody to what our goals are. And basically, through my experiences, through working through the art world in Los Angeles, I kind of started out like, an art student, like lots of people. I went to Otis College of Art and Design. And then from there, I started being a fabricator, and I worked for a firm, I don't know, we don't need to mention it, but it did lots of big-name artists and fabricated their work. It's something that a lot of people that aren't in the art world know about, but that everybody in the art world does know about. It's just a job where I think a lot of people get started out that are good with their hands and like to make things. There are lots of different kinds of artists, and not all of them, have the desire to build up the skill base, but some of them have great ideas, and they really want to express those ideas, and they need help to do it. And that's where art fabricators come in. So that's what I did initially. I worked on some big, giant projects and learned a lot about the art world, but I was still not feeling like I was part of the art world. And I felt like in order to do that, I just needed to show a lot more and meet a lot more artists and do all those types of things. And I found that the LA art scene is really disparate. Everyone is really pretty far apart from each other, and not everyone knows each other, but a lot of people do at the same time. And I've found that working with different vendors that work within the art world, it's like other businesses where there are people that do things like make stretcher bars or market or do events or lots of the same types of functions that happen in other businesses. And everyone kind of knows everyone in a way, but we all don't know each other. And I was hoping that with this podcast, what we could do is kind of get everybody together, get an interview with everyone that we could possibly find to get an interview with in the art world that works in the art world day to day. And then we could all kind of listen to these in our cars in traffic. They'd be about 45 minutes to an hour. It's about the amount of time that all of us spend in traffic. And then we could somehow be more in step with what we all do. And like a lot of people, I follow artists that I really like on Instagram, and a lot of emerging artists use Instagram, and a lot of the mid-level artists use Instagram too. And it's a great way for us to see the work that each other's doing, and some of us like to post process photos. Some of us just like to, make commentary. Other people just like to follow all the other artists and keep up with them. So I like to do all of those things, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper. So that's where the idea with the podcast came from. I wanted to go into having a forum where artists, curators, gallerists, museum directors, if we could get one, which we probably can't because we're not big. But we know lots of artists, and we know lots of emerging and mid-career artists. And so we thought, let's just give everybody a forum and just start pulling on that string and see who wants to talk about what they do and about how they produce their work, about who they are and where they come from, and just kind of share that with everyone. And then if we were all to just like get a little bit of a window into everybody's practice, I think that we're all going to find out, and I hope this is the case, but I think we're all going to find out that our art practices have really deep similarities. I mean, I want to talk about the real stuff here too. I really don't want to just talk about, what everyone wants to talk about. Like, I have this going on, I have that going on. That's great. I want to talk about more about like what motivates us, what we really want to convey to our audiences. But I also want to talk about the stuff where it's like stuff artists don't always want to talk about, but maybe we can get a few to agree to it. I really kind of want to talk about stuff like side hustles. I'm talking about revenue streams. I'm talking about how do we make extra money to produce art that's maybe like the big stuff that we really want to get to, or sometimes we get into places in our careers where we're not making as much money as we were 5 years ago. And what does that mid-career slump look like, and how do we work our ways through it? Some of the best artists in the world have had this mid-career slump. And a lot of artists teach. I consider teaching to be a side hustle for artists. That's something that they do to make money so that they can keep going with their art. And there's like no problem with it in my mind at all. Art fabrication was a side hustle for me. I was fabricating other people's art, and I was happy to do it. I'm not trying to drop names, but one of my favorite people to work for is Eleanor Anton, because she was a really, by the time I started working for her, she had gone really far in her career, and she was a really generous person with her knowledge. And her husband, David, who is no longer with us, but was a really great man, a generous guy too, would really talk to anybody about what he'd learned in the art world and about philosophy. And those are the kinds of things that you learn in your side hustles that get you to a place where I think you can make more impactful work. So, no shame whatsoever in the side hustle. But I want to include that in this as a major theme. But and also, some of the side hustle stories can be super funny. Some of the jobs that we've all done. I mean, who hasn't worked for a caterer? Who hasn't worked for a florist? Who hasn't worked as an art assistant? Who hasn't worked at the weird like convention or expo setting it up because you'd worked at like some art related thing and you met the guy who builds the booths for the trade show, and so you're like, I really need money, let me just do this real quick. Let's talk about it, how all of it, but let's talk about also what our work is about and what we want to convey to people, because that is the most important intellectual property that as artists we gift to our society, and we gift it to our culture. And in the art world, in my way of thinking, we've entered this time where we create some of the most original content in our wider culture. And eventually it seems like it filters into the more popular cultural modes of creating, which are like film and pop music and television. And those things are great. They're collaborative processes, but these important ideas are these little seeds that are germinated by artists, singular artists working either in very small groups or alone. And I don't think the artists in the art world, the capital A art world, really get the appreciation for always coming up with those ideas. We're pretty used to being ripped off. I mean, like, who of us hasn't seen something in a commercial that looked eerily like an image that you made or an idea that you've been confronting? I mean, who isn't like the very small indie filmmaker who doesn't see a way that they approached a subject in a larger film? It happens all the time. So I want to give a forum to that, and just make that forum where we can all feel like in this giant sprawl of Los Angeles that we're all kind of connecting a little bit. And if you can, and if you want to, you really like have an artist that you love, contact us. Send us an email at arttraffic@thomasadamsart.com. Arttraffic at tomadamsart at gmail. No way. We're going to edit this, but arttraffic@thomasadamsart.com. And I'm waiting to see Jonathan nod his head right now. He's giving me the thumbs up, so I know I got it right. Okay. arttraffic@thomasadamsart.com. All right. And then, yeah, definitely drop us an email and let us know who you think would be a great person to feature on our first interview. This is a non-interview episode, but in our first episode with an interview, and we're planning on doing interviews for as many of these as we can possibly do. I think it's going to be all of them. I think this is going to turn into just a deluge of amazing artists that we're going to want to hear from with incredible ideas, because everyone I know that's an artist has them. But the first one is going to be the director in our artist-run gallery, which is Brainworks on Pico, who also happens to be my big sister, Erin Adams. Love her to death. Brilliant artist, making super cool paintings right now. She's having a show coming up at the Los Angeles LGBT Center, which is going to be a solo show. I think the title is going to be Coyote Woman of Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure that's the title right now. I'm going to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's the title. And it's going to be amazing. We'll get back to you with opening information for that. But we're going to interview her, episode 1. We're going to call this episode I for intro. But just wanted to introduce everyone to the podcast and find out from anyone who might listen to this or download it, if they think it's a good idea, if it's a worthwhile idea, if it's something that will work. So definitely drop us a line. Let us know if we're complete assholes. Sorry for the explicit language, but I think we marked that on this podcast. This is explicit, so fucking give it to us. You know, if it's gnarly, we're okay. We're grown up and we're ready to hear about it. If you think my voice sounds like a frog stuck in an echo chamber, don't worry, because I do too. All right. Anyways, definitely get back to us. Let me know a frog in an echo chamber at arttraffic@thomasadamsart.com. And all of the worst ones, Jonathan will weed through them and then really kind of whitewash it for me and tell me that everyone loved it. And then we'll pretend that everything was cool, and then I'll never know that you said bad things. That's how we're gonna run it. Just to let you know, the company policy at this point right now is protect Tom's fragile ego with everything you've got. All right, I don't know how many minutes 433 seconds is. Is that seconds? What am I looking at? I don't know. It's bars. Ohms. I'm learning how to do this, everybody. I don't know what's up. Podcasting, it's new to me. I also hear a sharp pinging noise every time I use the letter P. So I'm going to try to really calm my P's down for everyone's listening pleasure. Okay, but thanks for sticking with us, and we're going to try to see if we can post this and see if it won't work. But thanks for listening in and checking us out, and subscribe, please. It helps us keep it going. And also, just the listens, the plays, and the downloads, they all help. And I hope we'll bring you something that'll be interesting enough to bring you back. All right, thanks very much.